Patriots pulling up, ain't gonna stop. Hide if you want, cause it's ready or not. We the whole gang and we up on your block. Got the red dot on you, now take the shot. 2-8 don't face me, now I got my slide. We hunting down snakes, we aim for the hide. Try to jab me, I don't care what you say, cause the people are here and we win either way. Hey yo, shout out to the truckers who be honking on the road, blocking off the bridge even when the weather's cold. Missing out on money, but to them it do not matter. Fighting for their freedom is the reason that they gather. All over the world, anywhere that you can fathom. Ottawa to Paris, now they are not terrorists. Canberra to Vienna, run up a comparison. Trudeau can't stand them, then he try to ban them. Call up an emergency and do it with some urgency, and call up the city police to take away the liberties. But the numbers going strong, you know we never stand alone. We taking back a rest, you better take the story on your phone. Then we go to stage, put the stick up on my plane. Ain't gonna show a back sport, you don't wanna ask for it. Then I'll call the truckers and we call it 18-wheeler force. Block it now and no remorse. Australia to hit the source, they calling for the power so that they can come to take your body, your life, to end your mortal strife. Take away the guns, then take away the funds. Hacking at the fundraisers so we know the hell awaits. And really think they're gonna stop it, but they'll never make a profit. No more water in the faucet, cause the workers don't deposit. For the timers doing violence, rebels got it moving silence. Till it's time to make it loud on the streets and in the cloud. Get banned, stand up, you know we gotta man up. I ain't gonna little timer try to lock us up. Say we gotta wear a mask while they party in the club. Vax that thing up, or I cannot buy us up. Think the politicians forgetting who paid the pay stub. It's only been a couple years, you know that we are fed up. Truck Trudeau and the same go for Joe. And if you try to lock me down again, then I'ma let it blow. If you try to push the vaccine, I'ma say no. If you think that you're safe, we better run up in your place. We done with the games, we done with the snakes. You better be scared, we'll do what it takes. Patriots pulling up, ain't gonna stop. Hide if you want, cause it's ready or not. We the whole gang and we up on your block. Got the red dot on you, now take the shot.
I won't take the vax, no. Fauci is a backhole. Why you even rap, bro? If you ain't spitting facts, though. Fire like the Bascos. I'll check the swag, bro. Don't trust anyone on news and a lab coat bars. Why they always grifting for the black votes? TikTok pop star, swear it's all an act, bro. Now they want the truckers in the prison cause they mad, so I'ma make a song that made their next turn lassos. Call me rap cowboy. Even as a little DC, I was a loud boy. Spitting racist jokes in the class like a proud boy. Okay, who you kidding? I'm a Gavin that's McGinnis when I'm rapping like a tabloid. 9/11 inside job. Michelle's got a real big schlong, probably like 10-inch long. They probably wanna end this song, but we ain't gonna end this song. No, McDonald's fries kill more people than Corona did. Masked up, class suffocating all the COVID kids. Let me take a breath. They're praying on the death. I blame it on the left. Daking who you rep. Jesus Christ is the set. I can see that they upset. Gays go to hell. Why? Cause they have anal sex, that's why. Faggot.
Patriots pulling up, ain't gonna stop. Hide if you want, cause it's ready or not. We the whole gang and we up on your block. Got the red dot on you, now take the shot. Stay awake, not woke, I'm tuned in. Your point of view too far, need to zoom in. Ain't got no facts, you assuming. About to call them blue, the way you be cluing. Stay awake, not woke, I'm tuned in. Your point of view too far, need to zoom in. Ain't got no facts, you assuming. About to call them blue, the way you be cluing. Have we had enough of your lies for one night? Have we felt enough of our pain to know it's real? How do you feel? Sick and tired of the lies, all I'm feeling is the pain. It's the devil in disguise while I'm standing in the rain. Water pouring from the sky, but you tell me the opposite. Like I don't have a consciousness, like I'm stuck in the matrix and my brain's up for the taking. But we don't do that, I know my facts. They say that he was elected, but where the stats at? They say that jab the only way to get your life back. But if you have a heart attack, then they will go to hide that. Look at the FDA, acting like KKK, trying to run all our lives like we they brand new slaves. Lose the job, bent from playing segregation, all the same. They call themselves progressives, but they taking us all back again. Bring the world to darkness and sacrifice the children. Then when it's said and done, then you will never live with hope again. I say that we break the chains, we can't leave the world the same. Make love real again. As we fly above the truth, I ask of God, am I with you? I walk the path, go to the light, but still I feel that. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages from all across the world. You are now tuned in with me. My name is Chandler, and this is our show we do every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8, Crump Live. I'm coming at you guys live here on Tuesday, May 17th, 2022, and let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it is a nice, crisp evening. We've got a full docket full of just really hilarious, amazing, eye-opening stories that you are not going to want to miss out on. But before we get started, I do want to ask you guys to make sure you smash that like button. It doesn't matter whether you're on YouTube or if you're one of my greater people over on Rumble and Getter. And yes, we are beginning a caste system here. If you're still watching me on YouTube, you're a little bit of a, a little lesser class. You need to make sure you're subscribed to me over on Rumble. So my people over on Rumble and Getter, make sure you smash the like button over there as well. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I'm joking around. I love you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Today's topic is it's a major doozy, so I'm gonna see y'all in the comments over there. I'm definitely gonna be interacting with y'all in the comments. So nice to see you. It's Australia Day. Says hello, boys and girls, and those that make up their mind. Oh, I like you already. I like you already. All right. Unfortunately, though, we're gonna be hearing a lot from people that quite have not seemed to make up their minds these days. We're gonna jump right into it. It is 8, which means some big news is dropping right now regarding Twitter and Project Veritas. Now, as you guys know, Twitter, is a big thing. They've been in the news heavily recently. Of course, a lot of people use Twitter very heavily as they get all their information from there, including myself, although I shouldn't say not all my information, but it's a good way to plug into society. Twitter is being currently bought by Elon Musk. Project Veritas is an independent investigative journalist organization. And let me tell you, people have called them guerrilla journalists, and that comes with very good merit. And that's because not only have they exposed the organizations like CNN and the FBI, but they've name an organization, name a company, they've probably already got something on them or are already on the way to them. And I've covered them numerous times on this channel. You guys already know who they are. They're getting in on the Twitter madness, and oh my gosh, this is good. Now, this is actually part 1, because these came out yesterday, and then one just came out today. So, if you've already seen the one from yesterday, stick around. We're going to get to the one that just came out minutes ago. This is breaking news. I think I have like a breaking news sound effect right there. That's breaking news. It'll be coming in a minute. We'll jump into that. But first, I want to watch a little bit of this and give you guys an idea of what is already happening. So, a Twitter senior engineer says, Twitter does not believe in free speech.
Nope.
Is that supposed to be a surprise? I mean, we already know this, but it comes from a senior engineer who admits employees are commie as F, and they tried to revolt against Elon Musk's takeover bid. Let's watch a little bit of this. Let me turn it down so I'm not blasting your ears out.
It's not doing free speech.
What do you
Elon
mean?
doing free speech. Capitalists, if we weren't really operating like capitalists more, we were like very socialist. Like we're all like communist.
Ideologically, it does not make sense, like, because we're actually censoring the right, not the left. Because everyone on the right wing will be like, bro, it's okay to say, just gotta tolerate it. The left will be like, no, I'm not gonna tolerate it. I need it censored, or else I'm not gonna be on the platform. So it does serve the right. It's true, there is bias.
I don't know if the two parties can truly coexist on one platform.
What do your colleagues say about it? Like,
They hate it. Oh my god, I'm at least like okay with it, but some of my colleagues are like super left.
what do they say?
They're like, this will be my last day if it happens. So,
Has much changed since like Elon's coming out?
a lot has changed. A lot has changed. We're all like worried for a job.
Why are you guys so worried?
Jobs are at stake. He's like,
I started working for Twitter and became
I have to pause it there for a moment. Just this is a hyper reel. Of course, there's a lot more footage that we're not going to be reviewing this time, but there's a whole reel of this stuff, and I can't imagine how much stuff they had to cut that is just hilarious and beautiful. I started working for Twitter and became left. What were you before?
I think it's just like the environment, like you're there and you become like this calm.
we did all we could to like revolt against it. A lot of employees revolted against it. But at the end of the day, board of directors have a say, and then they acted on their best interests because they didn't want to get sued. I basically went to work like 4 hours a week last quarter.
Wonderful.
That's just how it works in our company.
Yeah. How would you describe communism besides Twitter?
Essentially, like everyone gets to do whatever they want. No one really cares about like OpEx. Like capitalists will care about numbers, will care about like how to make the business more efficient. But in Twitter, it's like mental health is everything. Like if you're not feeling it, you can take a few days off. People have taken months off, they'll come back. But you always like do your best at any time, and that's the culture. And we'll run the business as much as possible. Capitalists would be like, you gotta generate profits or you're out. A lot of people wouldn't survive that culture.
This is not a company. This is a cult. Take
mental health days and just not do anything? He's right when he says it's commie as F. This is a big deal. Let's check the comments though, because the most important thing about it is that it happened, and not really what's inside of it, because it's really setting a precedent and opening the doors for what is about to come next. Now, obviously, in this video, they talked a lot about Elon Musk. People are revolting against it. People are very upset. But it also says things have changed a lot. Now, you guys notice Twitter, at least for some people at sometimes, is a lot more open. Like, I remember right after the Elon deal, I was suddenly getting all my engagement back, and then it was cut down again, and now it seems to be coming back. I have a few hit tweets out, which I'm very happy about, but I'm sure it's going to kind of come in and out in waves as they figure themselves out over there before Elon Musk actually takes power, if he is to take power, which is a different deal, which we'll talk about another time. But I want to show you guys what happened after this. So obviously, hashtag Twitter exposed happened. And now, what you guys may not know is that Project Veritas, James O'Keefe, literally every major Project Veritas official has already been banned from Twitter. Eric Spracklin, James O'Keefe, a few friends of mine I know in the communications sector within Project Veritas, they're all gone. They're just gone. They are not on Twitter anymore. They've been banned. Project Veritas, the organization itself, Project Veritas Action, which is a separate branch that's supposed to be about like political action or something like that, all gone. It's been murdered. It's gone. So it's still pretty interesting to see how much power they have on Twitter. 15,000 tweets, and that was at the time this was taken yesterday evening at about 9. But let's dig even further. So this is the guy who was actually on the video blabbing all about how communist Twitter has become. Well, he deleted his Twitter account, obviously. The reason this video has deleted his account. This happened earlier today, just a few hours ago, so it's gone. I'm sure there's an archive, but ooh man, it's gone. But now I want to show you the greatest thing about this. Elon Musk himself commented under it, and he asked, "Is this legit?" This is what I love. This is what I love about 2022. You never know what is going to happen. Anything can happen. Like Elon Musk coming out to say, "Is this legit?" This wouldn't happen a year ago or 2 years ago. But it's all bubbling up now. No wonder these people are scared, because their status quo, which was so beneficial to them, as the senior engineer himself said, is suddenly being threatened. You know, the far left had control of Twitter, and if anybody that disagreed with the same old things that they're pushing, well, they could just say, "Well, I'm not going to be on the platform if Donald Trump and his band of merry misfits are allowed to be here and say what they want to say and say that the election was stolen or that the vaccines are not safe." And so they got banned. But now with Elon Musk stepping in, soon to potentially, more than likely, take power, suddenly these people are scared, and he is out on the field. And it's funny, this is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 letters. 11 letters, a question mark, some spaces here, and boom, just a few characters, and that's how you start a revolution with 75,000 likes under it. Under the original tweet with 92,000. I know you guys don't care much for numbers, but woof, those are some big numbers. But of course, it gets much, much better. We'll jump into that in a minute, but I want to read an article real quick from the New York Post that actually picked up the story. Now, Project Veritas has received a lot of hits from people saying, "Oh, they're not credible," anything of that nature. Don't make a story about them. Don't propagate the lies that they push. But not every single news network is going to follow the same old lies and narrative. So, New York Post, although I'm sure they don't talk about whatever Project Veritas posts all the time, they are reporting this one, and it is a big deal. Twitter engineer recorded saying "Commie as F staff censors the right." His words. This is huge. A senior Twitter engineer has been recently recorded, and secretly recorded, I should say, admitting that the social media giant is censoring the right, and that he and his coworkers are commie. Twitter does not believe in free speech, said the senior engineer in a series of hidden camera clips. Elon believes in free speech, and those that many of his colleagues say they hate what might happen if he takes control. "Some of my colleagues are like super left, said the engineer, adding that many have threatened to quit if Musk takes over and enforces his free speech model. "Our jobs are at stake. He's a capitalist, and we weren't really operating as capitalists. More like very socialist. We're all commie. I think it's just like the environment, like you're there and you become like this commie. They call it California," he said of staffers' nickname for woke California. It's funny. I thought that was just like a right-wing thing. I'd never heard of like an actual liberal calling California California, but I guess it's true. Also, they forgot the E. There's definitely an E that goes there. You can't say California without the E. Anyways, he then went on to say that he was filmed admitting that the company's left-wing slant directly affects content on the site. I don't know if the two parties can truly coexist on one platform. According to him, right-wingers are more likely to tolerate abusive messages, while those on the left will simply refuse and will quit the site, as he so aptly put it. And then, of course, there's the video there, some screenshots. We're actually censoring the right and not the left, the engineer was quoted saying, later adding, it's true, there is bias. It is what it is today. He then went on to say that while conservative voices were returning to the site en masse in light of Musk's intended takeover, staffers have been stress-eating and worried for our jobs after a period where essentially everyone gets to do whatever they want. If you're not feeling it, you can take a few days off. People have taken months off. And I guess they're going to be taking a lot more months and probably years off once they lose their jobs at Twitter, once Elon's like, all right, you're done. You're done. And people start getting depressed. And they're like, I'm eating, I have all this money saved because I got paid, 6 figures for doing nothing. So I have all this money saved and I'm just going to take a mental health break and really stock up, the winter's coming. The winter is coming and I heard Trump is coming and I don't know, I bet when Trump gets into office, all the food's going to be gone, so I better eat up. That's probably what they're saying. But unfortunately, Elon Musk is on the way. These people are scared and it is just getting started because part 2 has now come out. But before we get to part 2, and before we go to a quick ad break, I gotta show you guys this hilarious meme real quick. It's depicting what Twitter will do what Elon will do once he takes over Twitter.
Okay, I had to have made some kind of a dent by now.
Some kind of a dent by now. If y'all can tell me what movie that's from, I would really appreciate it. I think it's a movie before my time, so let me know if you know what that's from. We're going to continue the stories, and we're going to be covering Project Veritas' story that released just a few minutes ago, right after these messages from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Hey freethinkers, Chandler here, and welcome to the brand new one-of-a-kind commercial break. Here on the Chandler Crump channel, we pride ourselves on straight-talking nature, adherence to facts, resistance to media programming, and a loyalty to the red, white, and blue. Above all, we bring it to you in a cheerful nature to package all the bad news and or occasional good news in a way that'll make you smile while you cry. Whether that crying be from laughter or sadness is up to you. Anyhow, through these efforts, I have come under fire from YouTube, Twitter, and the rest of the big tech giants alike. It is through these attacks that we've had to work even harder in order to persevere and continue to deliver the message. It is through this that I come to you humble viewers with a request. I know I've said it before countless times, and I probably will countless times more. This show is funded and supported independently by viewers like you. $1 or $100, one time or once a month. Everything goes towards supporting our ability to bring this show to you. These live shows are what I consider to be my job, and I only get paid on tips around here. So if you think I've done a good job or want to encourage me to do even better, then check out the description of this video and go to donorbox.org/support-Chandler. This is our donation processor and the one-stop shop to support all things Chandler. A donation here allows you to send support as well as a message. During live shows, I read your message out loud, and if it's a question, do my best to answer. If you choose to, you can even have your name appear on stream to flaunt that you support our show. This is of course the illustrious Hall of Heroes bar above me. Another path to the Hall of Heroes is of course Cash App. My Cash App code is $ChandlerCR and is visible on every one of my streams. It works the exact same as DonorBox. However, if you wish to remain anonymous, leave a note in your donation stating your anonymity. DonorBox or Cash App aren't the only ways to support me, of course. You can join our Locals community as well. Locals is a platform that allows you to financially support your favorite creators on a one-time or monthly basis, as well as interact with others who have done the same. In this community, you can even gain access to exclusive content, early sneak peeks at music, and much, much more. Whatever you choose to do in regards to supporting me, I appreciate it 1000%. Thank you guys so much. Now, let's get back to the show.
So as you guys heard in that little ad break, our current Hall of Heroes members are Inespo and Mark Cook. I pointed at them wrong, but big thank you to both of them. Long-time supporters of the channel. Really appreciate them. I also appreciate the film buffs we have in here. I actually had 3 correct answers, or technically 2.5, but I'll count it because that's still really good to do. Alan Voss, who guessed Bruce Almighty, and Cycrilix over on Getter, who said Bruce Almighty as well. Let me check and see if anybody on Rumble got it. We don't have any film buffs over on Rumble. Rumble, my people, y'all let me down. Boxed 7 says when he sips the coffee. But yeah, y'all, I can't confirm if it's actually Bruce Almighty or not, but it is. Bruce Almighty does have Jim Carrey in it, which is what It's Australia Day Every Day said. So he said it would have to be Jim Carrey, and I think that that looks a little like Jim Carrey. I don't know these actors all that well. I don't watch many movies, but I'm gonna trust y'all. A lot of people came to a consensus, 2.5. So I think that's about right. But anyways, let's get down to business. This next part of the story is going to be, I think, even bigger, because the way Project Veritas always releases these big stories is they'll start off with the smallest thing they've got. And if the smallest thing they've got is enough to make it trend number, or actually it didn't even have a trend number, but get up on the trending tab with hashtag Twitter exposed with the first story, the next one is going to be a doozy, and I've got high expectations. So let's see what Project Veritas has for us this time. Twitter lead client partner says woke ideology is responsible for companies' inability to profit. Says that Twitter not here to give people free speech, and refuses taking Elon Musk seriously due to him having Asperger's and making Elon special with quote unquote. Now, anytime I've ever seen somebody called special in quotes after some sort of disability or some sort of condition, I have never interpreted it in a good way, and I would see this as the exact same thing. So Rebecca, she knows. She says, what kind of idiot goes on a date with a stranger and spills his guts about his job? Shouldn't you wait until you're engaged or married before discussing intimate details about work? Yeah, so that's actually in reference to the fact that Project Veritas gets to a lot of these people by simply getting one of their pretty looking journalists to go on a date with one of these guys, and they're such betas that they just say everything. Like, I'd understand going on a date with a girl and wanting to talk a little bit about your job, but if you're working for a company, maybe try not to dish about how unsafe the vaccine is and why you aren't taking it, or in Twitter's stance, that you and your coworkers aren't total commies, even if you think the girl across from you is a commie and you really want her to like you. Talk about how much you like Bernie Sanders or something, not how bad your employer is, because now he had to delete his Twitter account and I'm sure he's down in the dumps. But this, well, it looks like we've got another one. Mr. Alex Martinez, who I'm sure has already dumped his Twitter feed. We'll check it out in a minute, but let's give this a watch, shall we? Well, let me turn it down. That is loud. Okay, there we go.
Right now we don't make profit, so it's going to say ideology, which is what's led us to not being profitable.
Maybe they send a cute guy. That might be it, because this guy does not sound like he's into women. But you know what? I'm not supposed to say that. It's neither here nor there. Anyways.
The rest of us who have been here believe in something that's good for the planet and not just to give people free speech. Because again, like, these people really do believe in what we're doing. These are the policies we've put in place for misinformation or mislabeling media or whatever. Yeah. Why do you think?
I was joking. I think the Project Veritas journalist is a guy. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean any offense.
This should be taken down.
Yeah.
Like, those are the questions they're going to ask him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for him to be like, oh, because people should make their own decision. It's like, no, but people don't know how to make a rational decision if you don't put out correct things that are supposed to be out in the.
I want to let y'all read the quote here. People don't know how to make a rational decision if you don't put out correct things that are supposed to be in the public. These are the people that are running these big tech companies, and more than likely, it's this type of guy who's running, who's a part of the government as well. Are you serious? These people don't know how to make a rational decision. And you wonder why somebody like Elon Musk is trying to get out there and take control, because this is a problem. This is a problem that's being pushed, and we need a solution. I can't believe it.
As an advertiser, as my business, is what I do every day and why I go out, is like, we want it to be as fair and transparent and accurate as possible.
Yeah.
And if that means there's a level of censorship to make it correct, quote unquote, again, and what does correct mean? I guess like it just kind of goes back to the idea of like, well, what is correct?
If we're implementing all these rules that and Elon wants to dismantle them, then technically our ideology has led us to not making money because we're not making money. And Elon wants to turn it the other way so that we can make money. There's a statement they need all 7,000 people to say. And so they can't like tell us that like the real truth.
He has Asperger's.
Yeah, I know that.
So he's special. You're special needs. You're literally special needs. So I can't even take what you're saying seriously.
Oh my gosh. And there it is right there. You know, I'm not one to push the whole intolerant left versus intolerant right. I think intolerance is just what it is, and I think it's fine, honestly. But these people are pushing back on the very things that they're pushing on in the first place. Well, they're pushing against the whole don't discriminate against disabled people, even if it's sometimes to their benefit, to allow them different opportunities that would be better suited to their needs. This guy's talking about, oh, Elon's special needs, so I'm not gonna take him seriously. Really? Isn't it great that the richest man in the world is an African American with special needs? Come on. I didn't actually know he had Asperger's. I could have picked up on that, but I didn't care. You know, I don't care if somebody has some sort of disability, some sort of syndrome, unless it's like something that's really projected out to you. Then I'm gonna be a little curious. But I just thought Elon was, you know, that type of person. He's really in his head. He's thinking about things constantly. But now they're all like, well, Elon's got Asperger's, so I'm not gonna take him seriously. And yeah, that's my impression. I don't know. It's funny. I'm sure this guy's really in some hot water now.
Targeting of tweets.
Wait.
You can read it.
Oh my gosh. This is new. Let
me see. And how to protect yourself. Groups like Project Veritas are
I love when this happens.
active right now. Is that?
It's like
This is why Project Veritas is my favorite organization. This journalist, these guys and gals, these people are amazing at their jobs. They are they are spies. Legitimately, they are spies. This guy was like, what's that? He's a guy like Project Veritas. And he's like, the heck is that? Listen again.
Wait.
you can read it.
Let me see. And how to protect yourself. Groups like Project Veritas are active right now. Is that?
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I really am. Project Veritas. DM Gerber's like, Project Veritas? The is that? It's too good.
It's like some group that's trying to just out the employees. Like they're trying to go on dates with them like this and record them and then go sell.
Oh, he knows the entire process, and he still got. Look, they're trying to go on dates with them like this and record them and go sell it to the New York Times and say, this is what the Twitter employee just said. Dude, he's...
Sell it to the New York Times and say, this is what the Twitter employee just said. This is what's really happening. This is what they're telling us to not do. You're lucky that you met me organically, because I would be questioning everything about you.
Oh, this is the best ever. This is the best thing ever. Oh my gosh. This is wow. I can't imagine how much Project Veritas HQ is laughing when they got this footage back. And just to give you guys some reference, this is actually a story I was going to talk about in a minute, because this little piece came out just, I think, within the last day or two. Or within the last few weeks? Hold on, targeting of tweets. Does it give us any information about when this email was sent? Because that will help us earmark as to when this video was recorded. But as you can see, and as recently as yesterday, let's see if this article give us any information. Oh my god. Yeah, Polehammer, he's like, this guy has the definition of irony. I'm holding back some hard laughter right here. All right. A memo sent from Twitter to staff members and obtained by Veritas reveals that the big tech giant is warning employees to be vigilant of groups like Veritas, who recently released videos showing a Twitter employee admitted the company's biases. In the last couple of weeks, and as recently as yesterday, we have seen increased targeting of tweeps, which is Twitter employees, twerps, to obtain company information and insight. We wanted to inform you of what we're seeing and how to protect yourself. Groups like Veritas are active right now. These groups use social engineering tactics to get close to employees and obtain videos and recordings of employees discussing internal matters, and often selectively edit those recordings to misrepresent conversations to further their own political ideological agendas. It goes on to warn employees not to disclose confidential proprietary information or discuss internal conversations, policies, or products outside of the office. Measures to protect oneself from accidentally telling the truth to journalists include watching out for overly friendly/inquisitive acquaintances and to trust one's own instincts if an interaction feels odd or uncomfortable. This is a victory lap for Project Veritas. A victory lap. Rebecca, you're wrong for that. She says, sorry to sound sexist, but notice all the PV marks are men. Just saying. I think... you might be right, Rebecca. You might be right. It's so much... the thing is, it's so much harder as a guy to get a date with a girl organically. Because a girl has a wide variety of men to choose from, and a wider pool makes it a little bit harder. But as a woman Project Veritas journalist, you're in that position where you get pick of the pool. So, you get the chance to go after some low-life dirtbag who works at Twitter, and he sees you on Tinder swiping right, and he's like, Zooey mama, I'm going on a date with her. And next thing you know, he has to disable his Twitter account and issue his resignation by the next week. That's just what happens. It's not that the guys are just more, it's not the guys are more gullible, it's just that it's a lot harder to get a date. See, Rebecca? See, Rebecca? I got you there. But this is serious. This is hilarious, too. The statement comes after Veritas released videos showing Twitter staff explaining the deep discontent held by employees for Musk. Videos from them show a senior engineer saying that Twitter routinely censors conservative viewpoints because right-wingers are willing to put up with it. Siru Morgensen, we've already gone through all that, so I won't need to go much further. I want to jump back to this side. Rebecca says, Chandler, I'm sure the girls are throwing themselves at you, but be careful. I'll be careful for you, Rebecca. You are my honorary aunt. There you go. You've got it. You've got the title. I have an honorary grandma. I know of that one already, and I think you should be my honorary aunt. Congratulations. Yeah, somebody else is talking about it. He warned the undercover PV reporter about Project Veritas. You're lucky you met me organically because I'd be questioning everything about you. Oh, it's so I gotta watch that part one last time. I really do. Right here. It was so funny.
Needs. You're literally special needs. So, I can't even take what you're saying seriously. Targeting of types.
Wait.
You can read it.
Let me see. And how to protect yourself. Groups like Project Veritas are active right now. Is that?
It's like some group that's trying to just out the employees. Like they're trying to go on dates with them like this and record them and then go sell it to the New York Times and say that.
I'm sorry. I didn't even pick up on it. I was too busy laughing. It was actually the Project Veritas journalist who pronounced it Veritas because everybody's going to see that they don't really know Veritas, Veritas. I don't know. You guys know I'm weird with my pronunciations. Genius, truly a genius. Guys, it looks like Elon Musk has actually responded right now. Let's check it out. He responded to the new tape. So I'm excited. Oh. That's so sad. This guy's out of a job. Alex Martinez is lead client partner. I don't even know what that means. I don't understand the whole big tech corporate ladder, but Elon Musk is commenting. Just the little pensive face, wow. And then there's the meme again anywhere. The woke mentality crippled Twitter. These clowns weren't working, and when they were just doing social justice. Empty most of the building and hire productive people. If they did this well with that model, imagine what you can do. We still need a digital town square. Elon Musk, despite the fact that men, quote unquote, like Alex Martinez, are going to be pushing your special needs. You're literally special needs. So I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to take what you say seriously. How do you think that makes Elon feel? As much people want to say he's a robot, and of course, I know everybody's got their opinions of him, and we could talk about all the different things another day, but he's still a human, as far as we know. Allegedly, 60-40. But still, he's got feelings, at least as far as we can see. I know if I had Asperger's, and somebody was like, you're literally special needs, I don't want to take what you're saying seriously. I'd be kind of hurt by that. Wouldn't you guys? I mean, he's the richest man in the world. He's making a lot of waves in the news right now. He's got people saying all sorts of mean things, but even within the company he's buying, I'd understand them going after the general ad hominems like, oh, he's a racist, oh, he's a fascist, oh, he's working for the alt-right. You know, we've heard it all before. I'm sure Elon isn't hurt by a single one of those because he probably heard it even before he was trying to buy Twitter. But this is the new low. This is like when a white liberal calls a black person a white supremacist, like they're doing Kathy Barnett right now. And we're going to get to Kathy Barnett later on, because tonight is going to be a big night. But, I don't know. It makes me feel a little bad for Elon. And I know people are like, he's got a transhumanist agenda, and I've heard of that. I don't necessarily agree with it, but or I don't necessarily agree with the idea of him pushing that. But right now, he's doing something great, and that is buying Twitter. I'm not putting all my eggs in his basket. And I'm not saying I'm a big Elon Musk follower, and I'm all in on Elon Musk buying all the Dogecoin, but I definitely believe he is a mover and shaker. And right now, I think he's making a lot of moves and a lot of shakes, because just a few hours ago, Elon slammed Biden, saying the real president is whoever controls the teleprompter. He also says if the US ignores obvious cause of inflation, it could end up like Venezuela, which is 100% true. DM says, yeah, Burritos is that gay dating app. Hilarious. Australia says, I got hamburgers, woohoo. Polehammer says, Elon gets emotional quite often during interviews. Clearly he has feelings. Yeah, I'm not a big Elon Musk follower. I don't follow him as closely as many other people do, but I definitely believe he's a human like the rest of us. He truly is. Boxed over on Rumble says, he said, Project Veritas, when did this turn into a comedy? he's good. I want to meet that Project Veritas journalist one day. I've met quite a few of them. I'm very happy. They're great guys, every single one of them. The whistleblowers and the journalists themselves, amazing people, amazing. Cycrelex own Getter says, buy more Doge. Maybe. Making Sense says, he said it on SNL just to check a box. Got him. And they also, Making Sense also asks, how you doing, young man? I'm doing great. Big thank you to everybody tuning in. We've got a lot more stories here. This one, I'm excited for this one. We'll be right back after another brief message. You guys won't want to miss this next story. Peace. Hey, freethinkers, Chandler here. Got a reason to celebrate coming up? Birthday? Anniversary? Election? Then why not recruit the help of your favorite content creator, commentator, and musician to celebrate? Well, now you can with Cameo. Whether it be for yourself, your spouse, maybe that liberal son or daughter of yours, it doesn't matter. You can recruit my services to wish you a happy birthday, make you a funny political joke, send you a heartfelt message, and all around try to make you smile. For a small flat price on the Cameo app, you can recruit me to do all of this and more. It of course helps support me and the channel, so it's going to a great cause, and you get something even greater out of it. So if this sounds interesting to you, go to Cameo.com or download the Cameo app on the Apple or Google App Store and create an account today. Then, once you're all set, just search my name, Chandler Crump, and from there, enter what you want me to say and who the special message is for, and you'll receive it within a couple of days. Now, let's get back to the show. Oh man. Things never seem to calm down on the news cycle. And it may just be because I find a lot of really crazy stories to talk about that I think, oh, I'm living in a time where everything is happening, but it really does feel like everything is happening right now. I mean, have you guys had that feeling where it's just like 2022, it's moving faster than 21, and faster than 2020, faster than 19, 18, 17, and 16? I don't think we've had a year this fast since years were a thing. And it looks like it's only going to get even faster. Elon Musk might be a big cause for that right now, as he gets very political, saying the president is whoever controls the teleprompter and not Joe Biden. Now, he isn't ultra MAGA, he isn't ultra MAGA, and he's not saying the election was stolen or anything like that, but he is out here saying that Biden is not a real president.
Yes.
It's no use! This is gonna be good. Let's check in. Tesla CEO, Elon Musk, whose purchase of Twitter remains ongoing, slammed Biden in a podcast interview Monday and warned that if the government continues printing money, inflation will get worse and the US might follow the path of Venezuela. Musk, who said he has voted overwhelmingly for Democrats, slammed the Democratic Party and Biden in general.
Stop the cap.
He suggested that Biden is something of an empty suit. The real president is whoever controls the teleprompter. The path to power is the path to the teleprompter. I do feel like if somebody were to accidentally lean on the teleprompter, it's going to be like Anchorman, referencing the 2004 film in which Ron Burgundy reads whatever is written on the teleprompter, even if it would ruin his career. I have never watched that movie. Came out the year I was born, so I know we've got a bunch of film buffs in the chat, particularly of early 2000s cinematography. So let me know if you've ever heard of Anchorman or Ron Burgundy. I'm probably showing my age here. A lot of people call me an old soul, but on this one, I have no idea who that is. Ron Burgundy. Somebody told me in the chat. The administration doesn't seem to get a lot done. The Trump admin, leaving Trump aside, there are a lot of people in there who are effective at getting things done. Oh, that's gotta sting for Joe. He also claimed that the Democratic Party is overly controlled by the unions and by trial lawyers, particularly the class action lawyers. He argued that when Democrats go against the interests of the people, it tends to come from unions and trial lawyers, while when Republicans do that, it's because of corporate evil and religious zealotry. In the case of Biden, he is simply too much captured by the unions, which was not the case with Obama.
And you ain't black.
He defended Obama as quite reasonable, but insisted that Biden prioritizes the unions ahead of the public. He then weighed in on Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' claim that the White House has resorted to misdirection in order to muddy the topic of inflation. I mean, the obvious reason for inflation is that the government printed a zillion amount of more money than it had, obviously. A zillion. Hold on, I gotta see this video. Is this it right here? I gotta hear this. What? Come on. Play. Well, I guess the video's been zapped. Let's see if there's like another one maybe. I could zoom out. I could probably find the video if I looked elsewhere for it. This might send us the same place. I think it's just the same link it is. Ah, dang it, Fox, but still. If the government could just issue massive amounts of money and deficits didn't matter, then, well, why don't we just make the deficit 100 times bigger? The answer is you can't, because it will basically turn the dollar into something that is worthless. Various countries have tried this experiment before. Multiple times, in fact. Have you seen Venezuela? Like the poor people of Venezuela are, have just been run roughshod by their government. Venezuela's inflation reached a staggering 65,000% in 2018 amid an economic spiral beginning with government price controls and plummeting oil prices. The government started printing money to cope and prices skyrocketed. Unemployment increased and the GDP collapsed. And that is the direction that America is looking to go. And Elon Musk, who I'd say knows quite a bit about the economy considering he's mastered it, he's looking at things not looking very good in the future for us. If we keep printing money, and if we follow an empty suit like Joe,
Rub my leg down.
into the grave. Economically speaking, of course, not anything uncurt, but still. So this is what happens next. Musk says he will be voting Republican in the upcoming election, possibly for the first time. Wow. After he voted overwhelmingly for Democrats. Says he'll be crossing the aisle to vote for Republicans in the upcoming elections. Musk announced on Monday that he will be voting for GOP candidates in the next election cycle after historically backing Democrats. He made the statement on an episode of the All In podcast at a Miami Tech conference. I have voted overwhelmingly, historically, for Democrats. Where was I? I'm not sure. I might have never voted for a Republican, just to be clear. Now this election, I will. The audience reacted with laughter and applause. The issue here is that the Democratic Party is overly controlled by unions, yada yada, we've already heard that. To be fair, the Republican side is something, it's not because of corporate evil and religious zealotry, we've heard that already. Musk has rarely, if ever, voted for the GOP, though he has often backed unconventional candidates. In 2019, he announced his support for Andrew Yang. Musk has stayed in the headlines over the past few weeks as he continues his planned purchase of the Twitter social media. The tech magnate stated that he wants to see more free speech on the platform and a greater effort to balance its perceived very far-left bias, which I'm sure he's seeing very clearly right now. Musk's announcement will have major implications as the entrepreneur continues positioning himself against the mainstream of the Democrat Party. Musk has made enemies in the Democratic Party after stating that he will reestablish former Donald Trump's account on Twitter if his purchase is successful. The news of that sent waves through Twitter, especially in leftist corners of the social media platform. Leftists including Keith Olbermann, Dean Obadiah, or Obidala, maybe? I don't know, I've never seen that name before. Reacted viciously to the thought that the brass 45th president could be allowed back on Twitter. During an interview with the Financial Times, Elon Musk, the potential new owner, claimed Twitter was wrong to ban Trump and that his ownership of the company is finalized. He would reverse the ban. Tony says, well, thanks for voting Democrat before all of this, right? At least he figured it out at some point. It's a good thing he's eventually getting to it, but still, he could have got to it a lot sooner. He should have got to it a long sooner. Oh my gosh. He's tweeted some more. As we speak. Things are happening as we speak. So he commented under, and he made it his pinned tweet. Did he delete the last one? There was just a last one he had. You guys know, we looked at it a second ago. It was a sad face. I guess it's gone now, but here he is right now. He says, Twitter exec trashing free speech and mocking people with Asperger's. ... He has pinned his reply to Project Veritas. Keep in mind, Project Veritas is still currently completely banned from Twitter and has to go through alternative sources like Benny Johnson to get the videos out there. Twitter executive calling Elon Musk mentally handicapped, special, and saying he has Asperger's. The Twitter exec goes on to say that Twitter is not here to give people free speech, yada yada. Twitter exec trashing free speech and mocking people with Asperger's. Tim Young, who has had quite the diatribe with Elon Musk these days, as Elon Musk has been replying to him multiple times, says, I'm no expert, but I wouldn't want to anger one of the richest men on the planet. Elon probably won't reply to that one, but I think this is a pretty good idea of what would happen. We've already seen this one before, so I won't go over it, but it's hilarious. Of Elon breaking down the doors on those poor Twitter staffers. Yeah, it really is mean. It really, really is mean. What is this? Take the red pill. That was a good time back in 2020. I miss the days, but man. Yeah, somebody says, I don't usually advocate for people being fired, but I would highly consider that in this case. I'll leave it there. I'm sure Elon's going to have a lot to say once he takes the reins. Benny Johnson doing great work getting this footage out there. Donald Trump Jr. posting it out there. Wow. That's good. It's really good. Oh, so Elon's thing is still here. I just couldn't see it. Where was it? What? Okay, there it is. I guess I just didn't scroll far enough. That's weird. But yeah, as you guys can see, he pinned that tweet. Nearly 100 million followers. And he pinned the tweet replying to Project Veritas. If this doesn't tell you that there is a paradigm shift happening soon, I don't know what will. But this is getting major with one of the most important people on Twitter, if not actually the most important person on Twitter right now, posting this out there. It's only a matter of time before, as that meme we looked at a few minutes, he starts typing and people start returning in waves back to Twitter. I think it's going to be a good thing to see. We're going to shift gears a little bit, though, off of Twitter and off of all this mess for now, because we've got a ton to be jumping into, including the upcoming Senate and gubernatorial and other primary races happening within the United States. Specifically, the one I'm going to be giving the most attention to, Pennsylvania. Right now, there are election results coming in, and we're going to jump into that in a minute. It's looking very interesting. I won't spoil it yet, but wow, this is interesting. We'll jump into that. But first things first, I want to jump into what is going to motivate people, more specifically parents, to get out there and vote. What do parents care about the most in the world? Once past their spouse, obviously, their children. And, some parents, their children first, because they don't like their spouse quite that much. It's very sad, but quite possible. Rebecca, that's a good one. I don't know. Chandler, you think Beto will win Texas? Definitely his primary. I mean, he's got the endorsements of everyone that matters, and he's a nationally recognized Democrat. He'll get his primary, but I don't know if he'll get any further than that. We'll see. But what inspires parents to vote is their children. When this is what is happening in their schools, these parents are going to want to get out and vote. Last year, the school district of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania encouraged teachers to attend a transgender conference on... I can't say a single one of these words. I don't even want to, but as you guys can see, all these, a conference on these subjects. These are school teachers to attend a conference discussing these things. I have obtained exclusive videos from that conference that will shock you. That will shock you. Let's check this out. I'm scared. I think I might take my headphones off and just let y'all hear this, of course. Disclaimer of... Well, I don't know what disclaimer is. This is something else, but disclaimer, prepare for strange stuff. If you want to take like 5 minutes and then come back in 5 minutes, if you don't want to see anything weird, I will totally understand, because that's about the time we'll start jumping into the primary stuff, but we got to cover this.
The purpose of this workshop is to showcase different types of prosthetics available for sex. Almost every single one that I will be showing you.
I might just mute it.
Penises.
Okay.
I have...
You know what? We won't do this. We will not do this. We will not. I have a lot more respect for my audience. Rebecca's saying don't traumatize us, Chandler. We're not doing this. We'll move on to the next one, which is about a parent actually getting directly involved. You see how I knit these stories together? I'm not doing it. Roxanne Shante says rips Chandler's channel. I didn't think it would be this bad. I looked at it earlier. I saw a lot of them talking about facts, but man, Adolescent gender transitions, girls. Oh, we're not doing this. If you want to take my word for it, it's disgusting stuff. It's disgusting stuff. You guys saw it for a second. I saw it for a second. I think that's more than enough. Let's just move on to a based parent standing up. A mom in Clark County schools reads from a graphic assignment her daughter was required to do. Her mic then gets cut off because it's inappropriate for public discussion. Adults can't handle hearing this content, yet they readily give it to kids in school. How does it make sense? Let's check this out.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to read you an assignment given to my 15-year-old daughter at a local high school. This will be horrifying for me to read to you, but that will give you perspective on how she must have felt when her teacher required her to memorize this and to act it out in front of her entire class.
What?
I don't love you. It's not you. It's just, I don't like your dick, or any dick in that case. I cheated, Joe.
What?
I'm sorry.
This is propaganda.
Forgive me. Excuse me.
Propaganda.
I don't. Thank you so much for your. Thank you for your comment. Forgive me. We're not using profanity. Are you? What?
Then the document, if it's appropriate for these school-aged children, then tell me why it cannot be discussed in the chamber where it may go down, where it may be struck down. I don't understand. Inappropriate for the meeting. I don't know. I don't know.
That's relevant.
Okay.
The teacher
this
required my daughter.
You know what? I can't. What I'm gonna do for you guys, since this story is obviously graphic, and I don't want to keep going with it, I'm gonna make this story an exclusive on my locals channel. You guys heard about it a minute ago. My locals is where you can gain access to exclusive content like this. I'm just gonna cover it separately because I don't want to keep going with it. But if you haven't already, make sure you join your locals. For just $5 a month, you'll gain access to all sorts of exclusive content. Be able to see a video I'm gonna make about this because I think this deserves a separate video in and of itself completely. This is madness. This truly is madness. So I'll drop the link in the description. You don't have to immediately, buy in or anything. If you just want to check out the community, you can see what it looks like. This is what it looks like for everyone that scrolls through. You'll be able to see everything I post like this. This hilarious meme, actually. I gotta show it to you guys. It's beautiful.
The president is visiting Buffalo after a senseless tragedy there, but he couldn't visit Waukesha after 6 were killed and 61 injured in an attack on a Christmas parade.
And as you can see, there's a little Biden meme, the visiting Waukesha, but visiting Buffalo, definitely. So check out all this content available over on my locals. We're really trying to kick up the community over there. You can also comment on stuff, and if you actually spend the $5 a month to become a premium member, you can actually post your own content. So if you have something you want to show me, maybe something you want me to make a video about or cover, you can actually do just like this. You'll see something like this and say, hey Chandler, want you to talk about this, and a link to something. I don't know what's in my clipboard, but well, clipboard goes to my own locals. But once you check it out, it'll look like this, and you'll be able to sign in, gain access to all the stuff, and you'll be able to post your own thing. So you hit publish, and there. Also, we post whenever we go live on locals as well. So if you never want to miss out, you can do so right there. Rebecca says Chandler would have done a better job as press secretary. And DM Gerber says they do eventually shut that mom down. I'm sure they do. It's insane. We're going to review that later. We're going to jump back into it. I do want to give a reaction to that. So guys, make sure you subscribe to us over on locals to not miss out on that. I dropped the link in the chat, and it's also available in the description. But now moving past all of that, I want to jump into what happens once everything that I just slightly covered but didn't cover, including this madness right up here. We're not going back to that, but what happens is that students get pulled out of public school. Altogether, America's public schools have lost at least 1.2 million students since 2020, according to a recently published national survey. State enrollment figures show no sign of a rebound. Yes, 1.2 million. I'm going to play the billion sound effect. It's not quite a billion, but it might as well be, considering that there aren't that many children in America in public schools. It's got to be, it's in the millions, but there's only 320 million American citizens. And students, I would assume, would only count American citizens, although I guess they might count, maybe like a few 10,000 or so foreign exchange students. But outside of that, I don't think there are many illegal immigrants or non-citizen students, but there might be. But still, there'd only be about like 60 or 70 million. Let's just look up real quick how many Americans are under 18. And I'm sure it'll give us a stat. So there. Wow, my guess was actually right. I don't know when this is as of, or oh, there you go, 2019. But as of 2019, about 73 million Americans were under the age of 18. And then segment that out to above the age of 5 and under the age of 18. Well, that's got to be something like, I'm going to estimate, since my estimations seem pretty good today, 60 million Americans that could be in public schools. Losing 1.2 million students would be devastating. Rebecca says there are 49.4 million school-age kids in the U.S. Well, thank you, Rebecca. I don't know where you're getting that from, but I would count that. Oh, she says school-age kids, but babies. So there you go. So it kind of cuts down a little bit more. Still, losing, and the lower that number goes down, the more devastating it is that 1.2 million students are being pulled out and put into private schooling or other things of that nature. This is big. This is big. Let's read this real quick before we jump into the last little bit. Oh no, it's the New York Times. Yeah, oh well. Let me find another version real quick, because I hate the New York Times for doing that. 1.2 million students since 2020. Isn't that crazy? College enrollment dropped 1.2 million since COVID pandemic. Well, that's something else. Student plunging enrollment, a seismic hit to public schools. Don't know if I'll be able to actually find another article for it, but I do want to read some comments for it as well. Some parents became so fed up with remote instruction or mask mandates that they started homeschooling their children or sending them to private or parochial schools that largely remained open during the pandemic. I know a few parents in my area that actually pulled out students because of mask mandates and remote instruction, one or the other, more often than not both, and decided to just do online homeschooling if they didn't really care about remote instruction but were anti-mask mandate, or local homeschool groups, things of that nature. They took power into their own hands, and for that, I am proud of them. I am proud. And some states where schools eschewed remote instruction, Florida, for instance, enrollment has not only rebounded, but remains robust because, dang it, in Florida schools, they've got things like the Don't Say Gay bill, so you don't have to turn on the TV and see the possibility that your students may be learning about prosthetic you-know-whats, and won't be having to go to school boards and then get ignored and cut off by your school board and city council members. Are you serious? Are you serious? And Rebecca says, plus vax mandates will push kids out of public schools and college. Thankfully, well, yeah, college. I know a few students who were like, I'll get the vax for college, but, well, some of them became sick afterwards. I felt bad for them, but some of them were just like, I'm not doing it. Screw it. I guess I'm not going to college. Which makes it even worse for colleges, considering that even before the vaccine mandates, colleges were actually declining heavily because, well, dang it, nobody wants to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, go into debt, then be indoctrinated by some teacher, become a communist, then be begging on Twitter for some president who didn't even get elected to give them student loan debt forgiveness. Of which he's not going to do it because, what do you know, when somebody doesn't actually get elected, they have no reason to follow any of their campaign promises, right? I mean, dang it, we're going all the way down the line, we're coming for everybody. So they see all this, they're not going to want to go to college. They're not going to want to deal with any of this madness. They're going to go to a trade school or something, which I don't think there's that many of them that are requiring vaccines or anything of that nature. And they're going to find some other path, and they're going to be just as, if not more successful in life because they didn't have to go through years of being indoctrinated, becoming some sort of victim, and becoming a commie, going to California and getting some whack job with Twitter, than getting exposed by Project Veritas. It'll be what it'll be. It'll be. Dr. Gerber says, DM Gerber, not doctor, says, I don't want to validate any weird doctrines, but this is all just plain godlessness. Yeah, you don't want to be a religious zealot, as Elon will put it, but you're true. This is so true. Australia Day says, this is why we have crocodiles in Australia, to keep the leftards out. I don't think my Australian accent's any good. I don't think it is. But now, without further ado, we need to check in on these primary races happening across the country. The first one we're going to be checking in on is Pennsylvania. Now, this is big. Now, in Pennsylvania, they have called it for John Fetterman as the the Senate Democratic nominee for 2022. Now, John Fetterman, I believe, is actually the one that recently underwent a stroke. Now, he had a pacemaker procedure just today, so he should be doing fine. He still swept the vote. He's actually predicted to be the winner. He's at 55.4% of the vote so far, with Connor, Lamb, Malcolm, these guys in the background. We don't really know these people. We don't care. Democrats, whatever, but still only a quarter of the vote in. But now, for what you guys have been waiting for, can I get a drum roll, please? The Pennsylvania Republican primary results. And Well, I don't know why I played the applause yet. We're still only at 6% of the vote in, but Dave McCormick is at 32%, which is shocking to me. Honestly, I'm surprised. I haven't heard much from Dave. It's been all about Mehmet Oz and Kathy Barnett. Now, she has been a firebrand recently, and when I say a firebrand, I mean a firebrand. It's been big. And as you can see, here's all their vote counts. 26,000 for Dave, 20,000 for Mehmet, and 16,000 for Kathy, which is big. And there's a few other candidates as well. You know, it's not all about the big three here, but it's actually really surprising because in a lot of polls I've seen, Dave McCormick and Kathy Barnett have been about tied, with Kathy Barnett actually leading by just a couple points with Oz in the lead. So it's, of course, strange to see Oz not in the lead so far. Dave McCormick in the lead, who I saw in third place a lot, and Kathy in third place right now. Now, of course, it's still only 6% of the vote in, and I'm expecting to see a lot more coming very soon from it. But as you can see, here's the county breakdown. We're still missing a lot of counties around here. 0% votes for some of them. But the counties that are being carried by Kathy are few and far between, with just Montgomery, Fulton, and Jefferson, with McCormick sweeping quite a lot of counties right now. Of course, it's not like some sort of electoral college in Pennsylvania. It's all about popular vote, at least in the primary. So we're going to see what happens. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe Pennsylvania is a runoff state, so there shouldn't be a runoff between any of these candidates, although let's just do some live research. I know Georgia's a runoff state, and there's a few others. Pennsylvania runoff state. I just want to confirm this real quick. I don't believe there's a runoff in Pennsylvania. Methods for... We're on Ballotopedia. I like this place. Doesn't look like there's any runoffs or anything. Let me just do the search for word runoff. Yeah. Oh. Majority... A runoff election is held between the top two vote getters. So is it a majority voting system or a plurality? I don't think this is specifically about... Oh, it is. Okay, so methods for conducting votes, a multi-winner system, single winner system. There might be a runoff system. Somebody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I might not know. I'm not from Pennsylvania, so I'm not too studied up on the actual state-level elections here. Let me zoom in here so you guys can read a little bit better. In which a runoff general election is held if no candidate for congressional wins a majority of the vote during the first round. So they do have a... Okay, hold on. Let me just read the whole thing. The 10 remaining states conduct multi-winner contests. Arizona, yada yada, West Virginia. Plurality counts are generally used to determine electoral outcomes, though some states and jurisdictions use other tabulation methods. Majority in which... Okay, so that's for Louisiana. So, I don't... Nobody in the chat is chiming in about Pennsylvania, so if we've got any Pennsylvanians in here, educate me, because I'm not too solid on my information about whether they do a runoff or not, but... at least in this primary, it's interesting to see what's happening, but that's not the only election happening, of course. We've got to look at some other sides of this as well, because it's not just the senatorial, but there's also a gubernatorial happening. So let's check that out as well, for those of you that didn't know, gubernatorial is the governor election. So McSwain, who, I don't know which one has the Trump endorsement. I'm not remembering if one has a Trump endorsement. But there's Doug Mastriano, who I've heard a lot about. He's at 21%, Bill McSwain at 22%, and Lou Bartlett at 18%. It just updated, so pretty split. I'm very interested to see how this develops. And a few other candidates as well, Melissa Hart, Jake Corman. I don't know any of these other people, but I know these two, Bill McSwain and Doug Mastriano, with Doug Mastriano in a tight lead. I'm sure it's going to thin up very closely, and then a few other races. We're not going to jump into those, but I do want to jump into North Carolina, because this has been interesting. Now, people have been talking about Madison Cawthorn. Somebody at the beginning of the stream said Madison Cawthorn might not win. In fact, let me see if I can... Oh, yeah, Mematologist says Madison Cawthorn losing his primary. Oh, somebody in my... Let's see here. Is he actually losing his primary? So, I think... Is this for Senate? This is Senate. So, let me see. House. There you go. Let's fix that up. So, House seat number... Which one is he in? 50. I've been told he's losing by 59%. I'm trying to... Does anybody know which one he's in? It should mark as incumbent. I need to figure out how I'm reading this chart. Okay, I think I just saw his name somewhere. Okay, there you go. Y'all are probably screaming at me saying it's right in front of you, Chandler. But there's Cawthorn. I just zoomed in and lost it. Where is it? Okay, so House seat 11. Wow. He is actually losing his primary right now. Now, of course, it's early on. There's a lot that could still happen, but he's actually losing his primary to C. Edwards. I don't know who C. Edwards is, but yeah, 35% C. Edwards has to just 30% with Cawthorn. This could be bad. This could be bad for Cawthorn. Cawthorn actually, he has the Trump endorsement too, which is really a sign right now. that the Trump endorsement, when given to a good candidate, is amazing. But when given to a candidate that has a lot of heat around them, even if they're a good candidate like Cawthorn, I think despite all the heat, Cawthorn is leaning towards good, but on the okay side as far as candidates. I've met him a great time. He's a great guy. He's personable. He's a person. He's a human, and that's kind of his problem. He does human things. He makes mistakes, and people are gonna get at him for it. Everybody makes mistakes, but unfortunately, they come at you hard. Let's see if I can get like a more detailed version of this. North Carolina House 11 primary. Let's see if that gives me more information, like the New York Times. I guess they've got like a more readable thing that they should give me once I figure out what this is. So Republican primary. So there you go. So Chuck Edwards. I have not heard of this person. It's still very early to tell, although New York Times says 71% reported, while NBC says it's only at 59%. So there's a little bit of discrepancy here. I tend to trust NBC a lot more than the New York Times, unfortunately for them. But this is quite a discrepancy. 23,000 votes for Edwards, 20,000 for Cawthorn. Wow. And that is the incumbent right there. So we might not have a Cawthorn next time around. This might be big. I personally like Cawthorn. I think he's a firebrand. He's out there. He's saying what he needs to say. He does what he needs to do. This could be big. A few other races have been called. For G. Murphy, he won. All the other incumbents are making out, except for Cawthorn. And I think it's heavily because of this major hit that's come against him from the liberals. Honestly, that they came down on him, and it might actually be working. As far as for the senatorial, Ted Budd is pulling out with it. I have not heard of him before. So there you go. Breakdown votes by candidates and counties. A lot of information here. I think any of these other ones are very relevant, although Kentucky is big. Let's just take a look at Kentucky real quick for Senate, because I think Rand Paul, yeah, we expected that one. We expected him to make out with that. I heard about that already. Rand Paul's running off very well. And Idaho, oh boy. Let's see Senate. They're also having Secretary of State elections. Okay, anything for Senate yet? I think it might be too early happening over in Senate. So yeah, might be too early in Idaho, because they are in a different time zone. But that's interesting with what's happening with Madison Cawthorn. I'm interested to see what happens. More votes are being updated as we speak, with Madison Cawthorn appearing to gain. I like this little live thing they've got going here. They're at 73%, but Cawthorn is finally edging close to 22,000, with this guy at 24,000. Chuck Edwards. I have not heard of this guy. Honestly, I'm a little embarrassed to say I have not heard of him. I haven't been paying too close of attention to all these different races, aside from just endorsements and major news stories, but it's a big thing. And here's actually a breakdown of by county, which you can see here is the district, and man, a lot of it is going to Edwards, but it seems to be like this kind of inner area, which I don't know my North Carolina geography, but I don't know if that's like a major city around here or something. I know there's Charlotte and Raleigh, but it's kind of, he's surrounded. It's a red country, and then like some big, large population areas that have a lot more votes for Edwards, which is kind of troubling, because it might be sort of like when an inner city votes for a Democrat type of vibe. I don't know. It's very interesting. Cherokee, Macon, Henderson, Bunkaby, Haywood, Transylvania. If we have any North Carolina people in the chat, let me know what you think about this. I'm very interested to see here. Let's see if we've got any people over on Gitter talking it up, or Rumble. Oh man, y'all have been talking it up on Rumble. Helicon says, of course Cawthorn is going to lose. They have to steal his seat. Cawthorn spits truth. Box says, I can't join locals because I don't have a debit card, but as soon as I get one, I'll try to join. It's all good, Box. I would appreciate it, but you can still join as a member. You don't have to subscribe immediately. Definitely join up the community and get a feel for things. I'd really appreciate it. Helicon says, vote those commies out and take their bonds that they are backed by. So true. Yeah, Box, you're so right. Very, very, very true. A lot of interesting stuff coming out of these primaries. I'm very interested to see what comes next. I think it's going to be some major stuff. Major stuff. So we're going to keep an eye on things, of course. We'll probably have more information coming to you guys later on, probably by tomorrow when all the primaries are up, unless it becomes a sort of election week. But there's more primaries coming where that came from. In fact, the Georgia primary is just in a few days, and man, oh man, am I excited to see what happens. Georgia's been a battleground since, it became a battleground state after being a battleground state, because in Georgia, it's been a battle within the GOP to be, to go back to establishment roots with Brian Kemp, or become more Trump with David Perdue, sort of. You guys already know how I feel about that, but it's been very, very interesting to watch. And man, I think it's only a matter of time to see who wins. I've got my money on some people, but I won't put it out there quite yet. I think it's up to the people to decide, and I don't quite get to decide yet. This will be the last election I don't get to vote in. It's going to be a primary, so next time there's an election, I'll get to vote, because I'll be 18. So I'm excited for that. Excited to cast my first vote. Excited to be involved in the process, and excited to bring it all to you guys live here on the channel. I want to give a big thank you to everybody who's been tuned in with us. I really, really appreciate it. Before I get off, I do want to make sure I'm not missing out on any donations or anything like that, just to make sure I'm not misrepresenting any of y'all. I really appreciate all of you being here and supporting me. Oh no. I've just got a breaking alert. Hold on a second. It looks like the fix might be in again, folks. It looks like we're back in it. Oh my gosh. Oh, hold on. Officials in Lancaster County said that Tuesday, a printing error will delay a final tally in its primary election by several days. Ladies and gentlemen, does anybody have deja vu? Does anybody have deja vu? Because I'm thinking we've been here before. Jack Posobiec puts this out, says, Lancaster, what time does the water pipe break? That's a good one. That is a good one. He says, printing mistakes will force local election officials in Pennsylvania and Oregon to redo thousands of mailed ballots. A laborious process that could delay results for some closely contested races in Tuesday's primaries. It's over. It's over, folks. They're gonna keep doing the same crap to us over and over again. They're gonna spit it in our face with Newsbreak and all these different news companies, and then they're gonna laugh when we try to do something about it and ban us from social media for saying anything. A laborious process about the mail-in votes, printing mistakes. We've told you guys that these mail-in ballots are stupid, dumb, and as convenient as they may be for the working mom who can't take work off for election day or anything of that nature, despite the fact that there's early voting for weeks beforehand, which is miles more secure than voting by mail. We're gonna keep doing it. We're gonna keep doing it because why? We don't learn lessons. We don't learn anything. No, we learn. We learn. It's just they don't listen. Because they don't need to learn anything. They already know what they want. And this is exactly what they want. They want printing mistakes. They want the ballots to be dropped at some random place by 2,000 mules. So that they can then pick them up, scribble on their notepad, oh yeah, 20 votes for Mehmet Oz. Yeah, Dr. Oz, he definitely won the primary. And Trump was going to be like, whoa, my candidate won, so there's obviously no steal. Right? Because when it's his person that wins, he's not going to call any attention to it. Because unfortunately, that's the game of politics. And doubly unfortunately, Mehmet Oz is going to be a backstabber. Unfortunately, this is a bad endorsement from Trump. I think he even knows it might be a bad one. He's just too prideful to change his mind because, sorry, I'm sneezing. He even said that if Mehmet Oz turns his back on him, you can blame Trump. I think we're all going to be casting blame once this man gets placed into office under whatever means that they decide to say he deserves to be in through. We're gonna be none the wiser. We're gonna be none the wiser. Here's the Oz camp just waiting for Dr. Oz to come out and talk about how trans children should rue the day, and by rue the day I mean rule the day. As whatever, we've gone through it. It's been months now. People have been talking about Dr. Oz. If you guys follow Jack Posobiec, you know who this man is. Man. Well, I guess the fix is in, folks. It's all coming out. Let's take another brief look at Pennsylvania Senate results real quick before we before we dig any deeper. So some more tallies are coming through, and can you see what NBC did there? So they've actually cut Kathy Barnett off from the little, or maybe I just zoomed in. I think I was just tweaking, but from certain zoom positions they only showed the first two. But there you go. So Dave is at 31%. Oz is at 26%, Kathy at 21%. So the lead between Dave and Mehmet and Kathy is starting to expand as more votes are getting in. But actually, I want to briefly check here and see if, since the New York Times seems to have slightly different information, let's see what they've got for Pennsylvania. No, don't do that. Don't. Oh, I didn't want to use your stupid paper anyways, New York Times. I don't like you. I really don't like you. Hold on. We'll just do Google Pennsylvania Senate results, Senate primary results, and see if they give me something. No, New York Times, we're not doing you. Let's see what CNN says. You guys remember our election live stream we did in 2020 where we just kind of went through all the different places? We're doing that again. So CNN says McCormick is at 45,000 votes with Oz at 38 and Barnett at 31. So it is starting to get there with McCormick well over 10,000 votes ahead of Barnett, nearly 15,000 votes ahead, if my math's correct. Nearly, I said. So I think it's like 13,000 or so between them. And Oz kind of closer, but still kind of far at 38%, or 38,000, I should say, with 21, 26, 31% respectively between Barnett, Oz, and McCormick. It's getting big, and the next update is coming in 5 seconds apparently. So let's see what happens, if there's any significant change, with still 12% in as of what CNN says. Oh, I guess as usual CNN was lying because the next update did not come through. And let's check CNBC as well. I think they might have one for me as well. Some news here. Is this just an article? It is. Okay. I don't know why that was a thing. Yeah, CNN is not getting new stuff. Or if they are. Oh, they are. Okay, I just wasn't looking. Wow, McCormick now at 51,000 and Barnett at 35,000. Okay, CNN, maybe you are good at this. Whatever that means, but wow, the votes are really coming in over there. I want to check North Carolina with CNN as well and see where NC 11 is, and they've marked that as a key race. It's getting closer. He is only ahead by 1,700 votes, which is not a lot for actually it is a lot for a district as small as NC 11. Even if they've got thousands of people in it, it's still 1,700 is quite a bit. To put into perspective, 31% to 33%. That is, it's far but close. If I was the Cawthorn camp, I would be chattering my teeth right now. I'd be scared. I would be scared. A few other races to keep an eye on as well through all this. Of course, other races in western states we don't really need to worry about. But Pennsylvania is big. Let's take a look at the gubernatorial as well, with Mastriano heavily in the lead. Barletta, McSwain kind of trailing behind. White actually in 10% at 10% now, which is interesting. I have not heard of White, and Barletta actually being in the lead ahead of McSwain is actually big as well, because I didn't hear much about Barletta before. I just heard about Mastriano and McSwain. So looks like there's a lot of interesting results coming through. Kind of upsets, if I'm being honest. Like I don't know where a lot of these people came from. They're really starting to really dig in there, which is big, if I'm being honest, between the senatorials and the gubernatorials and the Orioles and all that. Let's take one last look at NBC and then check quickly for breaking news before we wrap up here. Yeah, they're calling Barnett a far-right candidate. That's what happens. It really is what happens. It's telling that Trump didn't endorse Barnett. I mean, it really is. People are heavily in support of Barnett. Jack Posobiec has been basically campaigning for her for the past few weeks. You check his Twitter feed, he's been all over it. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf says Senate President pro tempore will temporarily assume the duties of a lieutenant governor as John Fetterman gets a pacemaker put in for a heart condition. Oh, that's a different story. But still, that's big stuff right there. Fetterman appears to be winning his primary, so it looks like he might get a shot at this upcoming senatorial election with what we can only assume to be more than likely McCormick or Oz. Although it's still only 12%. Kathy Barnett could come back just like that. We don't know, but I don't know. It's neither here nor there. These election results are close, and I'm sure a decision is going to come down very soon. I may post a video about it depending on what happens, so keep an eye on all my social media. Make sure you follow me over on Rumble and Locals. That's where I'll be dropping stuff that breaks tonight. And if it comes out later, then I'll probably post it on YouTube. And of course, if you want to see exclusive content, definitely check it out over on Locals. Tony says, God bless you. Thank you so much, Tony. Shout out to everybody over on Gitter, my people over on Rumble. I appreciate you. Stream went long today, so big thank you to everybody who's tuned in. I gave you guys plenty, and there's so much more coming very soon. Aside from all that, though, thank you guys so much for being tuned in. Once again, I'll say it a million times. I really appreciate each and every one of you. These races are getting crazy. They really are. With 1.2 million votes left to be counted, apparently, this is major turnout, and it's only going to get crazier as time goes. But aside from all that, I'll catch you next time, free thinkers. Don't forget to spread the virus of intelligence. Peace out, and I'll see you tomorrow at 4. Bye.
Go.
into the light. We